Before I go into Woodlands, I am sorry, I forgot to say one thing just now. That there is one more consequence, like an added consequence, that comes with absorbing all the feeder routes into the trunk routes. So what happens is that, as I've talked about just now, like if you just send every single trunk route to cover all the feeder bus services, like this fashion, you end up making people waste a lot more time when it comes to bus services like 4 and especially 19 and 37, which serve the industrial estates, and even like 81. I'm just listing all the straight bus routes. You can even say 21 to some extent. Because these routes, their catchment is supposed to be along Avenue 7, as well as like industrial, Pasir Ris, and Flora, and that one small part of Changi North Industrial Estate. This is what the services are supposed to do. They are not supposed to like wind along these areas. The areas in black, they are meant for feeder buses without being affected by external traffic. The bus services along the black lines, even though it's kind of messy, it's meant to be covered by the feeders, and every single trunk is supposed to go along the blue line because that's the fastest. And if you make them throw, you would unfortunately have to resort to making 4x, 19x, 37x, 81x, 21x, and stupid things like this, just to compensate people who want a faster journey from Tampines interchange, that's the main point, to like the industrial estates, as well as Changi Airport cargo complex. Is 19x even happening? Okay, I'm just saying that like the consequence is that you have to introduce all these x's, which is an even bigger waste of resources. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because it kind of ties into what I'm gonna say about Woodlands. Now for Woodlands, it is not very easy to do feeder bus integration, and I will explain why. I apologize for the way this map looks, but okay. So for Woodlands, 3 MRT stations, which is quite rare for such a town. This town is like really big. There's Marsiling and Admiralty, that's why there's 3 MRT stations, and then Woodlands South as well. And then train checkpoint, which is like, this is kind of the reason why it's hard to do feeder integration, because all the routes, they are meant to like feed to the checkpoint. I know 913 got amended to like loop at Marsiling, but yeah, because 912, you can't really touch it. It's supposed to feed this area into the checkpoint. And the same thing goes for like service 911, as well as like 903 as well. These services are as good as they are currently. 913 used to be like this, but then since they just wanted to reduce the effect of congestion on feeder bus services, so they made 913 loop at Marsiling instead. There is like nothing wrong with that. Although I would just like to point out that if you can actually solve the traffic congestion in this area, which is like near impossible, but if you are able to solve that, I would suggest that 913 East Loop and 911's West Loop actually merge together. And as a result, 911's East Loop and 913's West Loop would become another service. And then 913 East and 911 West, the resultant bus route, put all the bendy buses there because they function the best there. Regardless of whether there's like traffic jam or not, now we're assuming that there is no traffic jam. That's why we even merge these two together. Assuming that there is no traffic jam, this is literally the best place to put bendy buses. And even the current 913, it's also a good place to put bendy buses because from MRT they access here, and then from MRT they access inside here, as well as like Woodlands Street 13, and then this part of Marsiling Road. That is why 913 needs bendy buses the most out of all the Woodlands feeders. But I have seen some really, 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 really stupid suggestions saying that like, oh, I'm gonna commit like feeder trunk integration. I'm gonna be like absorb this part into one trunk and absorb the lower part into one trunk, which means the upper and lower part of circle. And I'm like, it's like you cut off access to Admiralty. That's one. You make them have to board at like the bus stops here. Yes, you can shift them closer, but all of these, they come with a cost. You have to shift all the bus stops closer. It's like you have to make them brought here or here instead of like over here. I'm not saying that like it is impossible, and I'm saying you technically could build one new bus stop at Avenue 6 to accommodate whatever service that you're gonna send there. Okay, that's fine, but it's like you shouldn't talk like as if, oh, I'm gonna commit like trunk feeder integration and that's the way to go for every single bus service, and no one is allowed to challenge me on that. That's just not the way to go. Because 913's purpose, people from Circle, they want a bus to Admiralty. And in the same logic, people from here, which is Woodlands Crescent, and then Drive 62 and 73, they want a bus to Admiralty, MRT as well. So 1, 2, 3, and even this area, 912, they have to access Admiralty. You cannot take their access away from them. That's why when like debating with other people, I admit that I almost lost my shit because they suggested something stupid like, oh, I'm gonna send a trunk bus route inside. I'm gonna call it like 915E. Wait, what am I writing? It's like, oh, I'm gonna send a new trunk route like this. I'm gonna call it 915E, and I'm gonna like make it so that whatever deleted sector of 951E, I have like compensation or whatever. They come up with all these stupid things. And when confronted about it, they're really stubborn about it. They are saying like they don't even live in like Woodlands, and they're trying to tell like commuters that, oh, you have to commute this way. It's like, oh, people from Admiralty, they want like instant access to Woodlands Crescent because I think Woodlands Drive 62 and Woodlands Drive 73 is like way, way, way too windy, even though I am not a resident. I mean, come on, it's just like one stop and two stops. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, ni. Like, I'm not expecting you to like throw 10 stops before it reaches Crescent. It's just 2 stops and it's direct. That's why people, they still take 904 in the first place. And if you really want to complain about, oh, I don't like this troll, okay, just walk outside, especially if you're living near Avenue 9 or 6. Just take 964. 964 is now full day. You have no excuse. I agree. 913 in its current state is way too overdeployed. They should run less buses and convert them to bendy buses so that they don't end up wasting buses and wasting manpower. So again, there is nothing wrong with the current 913 East route. There is nothing wrong with the current 912 East route. Okay, E is for East Loop. It's just my own abbreviation. I mean, like this. Sorry. Don't come at me saying it's like, oh my god, it's like 911T, 912T, 913T. It's an abbreviation. You don't have to take things so literally, man. I'm sick of all these orange is sling or blue is sling bus enthusiasts. Seriously. I mean, most of you are good. I'm just saying some of you are really beyond salvation. Not even God can save you. Astaghfirullah. But anyway, there's like 913. It is designed specifically for this. Same thing for 904. Designed specifically to link people in the most efficient manner. I don't want to hear any more complaints about the Drive 62 and 73 troll. Seriously. And yeah, the same thing it goes for like 912 East Loop. So no changes regarding these services. Another interesting one is 900. So yes, I agree. Currently over deployed. But in future, it is not surprising if this one starts adding more bendy buses. Why? There's a mosque here. A new mosque, Masjid Yusuf Ishaq. There is a hospital here, a literal hospital. It doesn't matter like how many passengers there are when it comes to the hospital. It's just the fact that a bus serves a hospital already tells you that you shouldn't put double deckers on it. You should put bendy buses on it. As in, like, I'm not saying that like, oh, everything that passes by, like, a hospital inside near Novena MRT should use bendy buses. I'm just saying, in this case, a residential hospital service, even like even for cases like 883, you should put bendy buses. And I'm not surprised if they decide to start putting bendy buses on 900 simply because of this reason. Like, especially when all the flats along this area become mature. I mean, the estate becomes mature. Same for 911 West Loop. So yes, but currently, 900 doesn't really need any further amendment. And then there's also this thing called 967, which is like, oh my god, which is like this. And then I don't even remember how this stupid thing loops. I think it's like that. But 967, it's actually quite an easy fix. So you just send it like this. Because Avenue 1, this area already has like 901, so you don't really have to care. Just send it via the hospital and the mosque as well. I mean, outside the mosque, there is no bus stop. The nearest bus stop is like to the hospital there, but both of them, there is demand. So you just send you just send 967 up there like this. And you can send it to like Sembawang, Canberra, Yishun. I'll leave it up to you to how you want to extend 967, but yeah. The reason why I'm saying all of this is because when you extend 967 over here, people along this area get compensated for the loss of 901 because I am going to make 901M the new 901 to just consolidate everything into one service. So like this, like this, like this. You see the black line and then the red line, they all cover the bus stops adequately. So currently, 901M loops like this. But I'm going to extend this one. Okay, one side I will touch Admiralty. The other side, whether you want to go straight and then shift the bus stop nearer to Admiralty Station, or you want to make the bus do this kind of like loopy the loop. I mean, divert the bus so that it goes Avenue 7, Ring Road, and then back to Avenue 6. However you choose uh, to do it, it's, I mean, like, whichever solution you pick, it's fine. So I'll give you two options. 901, go to Woodland Circle, or 901, go inside Crescent. Again, up to you. So this is one way that I can consolidate 901. But if that's really not necessary, then okay, just keep the current loop. It's fine. So 913, 904, I'm not changing any of that. I'm not changing. I didn't realize my screen was cut off. Okay, this is 967. Sorry about that. And then I'm not changing 964 also. That's the thing. Basically, I'm not changing all of these routes and what they're supposed to do. Even 962, I'm not changing it as well. Although 962 would probably benefit if the bus stops were like closer to MRT, that I admit. I'm not changing the routes purposes. I'm just extending them and giving them new users. I'm not extending them unnecessarily. I'm just, again, giving them new users and connecting more places, but like justifying why I decide to connect to these places. Another one that is like kind of controversial is 911's East Loop. I kind of agree. it looks stupid. And the reason why it's even like this is because of history. Last time, the predecessor, I think the old 901 used to go like this, and then it actually, if I'm not mistaken, it actually looped like this. Something along those lines. But yeah, the reason why 911E is even like this is because of history, and also because there is a Y junction over here. You can only turn in like this. So if you want to do anything to this 911E, which I'm okay with, you have to sacrifice this bus stop, and this bus stop contains Riverside Secondary and how do you pronounce this? Chihua, is it? Chihua Primary? What does Chihua even mean? I don't know Chinese. I only know Japanese. And some Sino-Korean phrases. I don't know Chinese at all, but yeah, you can tell me in the comments. So yeah. Uh, because most of people's suggestions when they integrate 911 into something else, 911's East Loop into something else, it involves like giving up this bus stop, making the bus go like this, and then looping somewhere else. And then in compensation, 900 goes like this. Again, this one, the people along Avenue 4, they may or may not complain, but yeah, either that or they leave. Okay, or they amend 858. I don't know if people would be unhappy that 858 no longer serves here. So they amend 858 to Street 83, and then this part of the route, they actually send it down. Okay, that's another 915E solution, like a full day bus service. That one is okay, but the 951E that goes the 91 the 951E that goes along here is not okay. This one I can still accept because it doesn't really change what current 951E is supposed to do. Why is 951 such a mouthful to say? I keep saying 915. So yeah. So again, Woodland Street 83, conceptually, you can replace it with either 858 or 900, but again, both of them have consequences. And 911E, it's the current East Loop is like okay-ish. It's kind of like as a result of having no other choice, no other good solution. But if you want to like make something more useful, then yeah, you can think of 858, you can think of 900. But again, every other feeder service is like okay at this point. The only thing that I brought out just now was like 913 East plus 911 West, and then whoops. Yeah, I forgot to charge my laptop. God damn it. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, the other solution was to merge 913E and 911 West, and consequentially, 911 East and 913 West gets merged. Both of them can put Benny buses, it's fine. Although, as I've mentioned earlier, this one, 913 East, 911 West is the one that actually needs all the Benny buses it can have. Because contrary to what most people think, there really isn't Woodlands isn't as bad as many people make it out to be. I mean, the only new thing is Woodlands South. I mean, Woodlands North already has like 856, but Woodlands South 967 is already introduced to cover this area. And then during peak hours, if you really want a direct bus ride, you have 665. And then, I mean, albeit express fare. And then along Avenue 4, you already have 900. And then along this general area, you already have like 901. It's adequately covered as of now. The only thing is extending 901, basically the M variant, and not running 901 anymore. I mean, just consolidating 901 and M together. All you could do is either send it to Circle or you send it to Crescent. That's all, and it's pretty much adequate already. I mean, the main point is giving them two choices: Admiralty or Woodlands South, depending on like which part of the island that you're like traveling to.